Hello, everyone out there in the global and digital world. I have some exciting news to share with you. My second book is out, and this video I would like to talk about it and what can you expect and how can you benefit from it. So here it is. X Playful Presence, Meditations, Prayers and Contemplations for Our Time. So let me explain the title and the cover, and then we will dive into the book. So this is a continuation of X book series and X teaching. I published my first book, X Basic Principles, in 2020, and I'm very happy with the results so far and the impact that it has. The first book was laying down the foundations of what I think and hope can be a spiritual teaching for our time. So there are some internal truths there, but there are some truths, relative truths regarding the situation we are in individually and collectively. And based on some contacts and interactions I have with people, I realized that for the vast majority of people, spiritual path is designing spiritual practice. So in the second book, I wanted to go more experientially. So I offered meditations, prayers, and contemplations for modern day practitioners, but those traditionally inclined can also benefit. So about the cover. So on the cover, we see two very prominent images merging together. We see a monarch butterfly and we see the Dharma wheel. So let me explain why those two images. So monarch butterfly, I live in Santa Cruz, and their migration from north to south goes through Santa Cruz. So I see them often, and they often come to my garden. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're almost an endangered species, but I always see them as a sign of transformation individually and collectively we need to go through to keep the world intact internally and externally. So they represent transformation, and this monarch butterfly represents transformation on the cover that we are actually pushed into individually and collectively. The Dharma wheel represents the eternal spiritual teaching about Buddha nature, Christ consciousness, or what I call true self. And that internal teaching also includes this relative reality or evolutionary reality. And why interplay of both? Well, I think for transformation, we need to go through individually, collectively. We need Dharma, we need ultimate spiritual teaching. And also for Dharma to be effective, it has to a little bit transform and upgrade to the present day moment. So those are two simultaneous processes. So transformation needs eternal teaching. Eternal teaching need to transform to be up to date to the present day era. And that was a huge inspiration for X. When I write my books, I really write with that intention. Now next, let me explain the title itself, Playful Presence. Presence is a big word in spiritual circles, and it's a massive realization. I often call it self or true self, but I use the word presence. Presence is the essence of your being, which is one with essence of reality. In other words, to use Hindu terminology, Atman, that is Brahman. So presence is your individual self, which is equivalent to big self or self as a reality. The spiritual path consists of actually realizing that you are already that. It's an extremely tricky path. Very few succeed. But I think nowadays we need that gesture more than ever because the world is going nuts. Now, what does playful mean? You probably noticed that I use here three practices: meditation, prayer, and contemplation. So spiritual path is basically, in a nutshell, dissolving your small self into the true self, or dissolving your small self into the presence. That path can be chaotic and can be elegant or playful. So what I mean by playful, and that's the vision behind the book, if you meditate, play, or contemplate together, or you do one of them or two of them or all three of them, The path is going to be creative, playful, elegant, fierce when it's necessary, humorous when it's necessary, creative indeed, because we do need creativity. We need to recreate our being in the world and being with the being. So that's what I mean by playful. Life is a drama, you know that. Birth is a drama. I experienced that with my son. I was there. Life is a drama. I experienced that myself and with lots of friends, family members, students, and clients. Death is a drama because we don't understand it, we don't approach it well. But this playfulness is actually releases that drama, and spiritual path doesn't have to be that dramatic. So that's the hope and a promise of the book. So Spirit X Playful Presence. Next, you may ask, so why meditation, prayer, and contemplation? I really thought about it a lot, and it comes a lot from my practice as a spiritual teacher. The first thing is, so there are different spiritual temperaments. So when I discovered meditation, it was a massive discovery for me. And I thought that everybody should meditate, and then I did meditation retreats. There were hundreds of people meditating. So I thought one day everybody in the world will meditate. I was very passionate, a little bit naive about it. When I started working as a spiritual teacher, I realized, wow, meditation unfortunately does not work for everyone. There are various spiritual temperaments. And then later on the path I discovered prayer, and before on the path I discovered contemplation, because I studied philosophy wholeheartedly for decades and I got PhD in philosophy. So I realized, wow, you know, in terms of spiritual temperaments, we have people who are more prone to meditation, we have people more prone to prayer, and we have people more prone to contemplation. And my teaching, Spirit X, is really trying to be inclusive. That's one of my major, to offer a kind of buffet, to acknowledge various paths, and to help individuals in different ways, using different rivers to dissolve into the ocean of consciousness. Another reason why I chose meditation, prayer, and contemplation is that those are the most present and most powerful and most acknowledged spiritual practices across spiritual tradition. So think about prayer in Islam and Christianity. Extremely, extremely important. Has to be updated, but extremely present and important and powerful. Think about meditation in Buddhism and Hinduism. Think about contemplation in Western philosophy, or even Christian mysticism, where it's actually more meditative and stuff like that. And the third reason why I chose meditation, prayer, and contemplation is that if you combine two of them or three of them, it's very powerful. So I did first contemplation for decades in Western philosophy, amazing path. Then I discovered meditation, massive discovery, one of the biggest discoveries in my life. And then later I even added prayer. I was blown away by the results in terms of me dropping into the presence, into the true self. When I suggest that to students and clients, those who utilize have amazing results and live wonderful spiritual lives. So the third reason is actually methodological. I put a lot of creative effort in this book. So the book is actually envisioned as an interplay between words or instructions and images. So there's plenty of images there. So the book is very meditative, contemplative, and aesthetically appealing. So those are the perks of self-publishing. You can really have a massive impact, creative impact on what you're doing. So let me show you some images. So here is kind of title page, and this is Santa Cruz. This is kind of personal. This is one of my contemplation spots. It's called Natural Bridges State Beach. It's absolutely stunning and incredible spiritual frequency. And then if we go a little bit through, this is introductory section for meditation. You see a meditator here from Eastern tradition. This is my introduction. What I mean by meditation. Let me show you some other. I like really this image. So the meditation is The Wisdom of Senses. And let me show you another one. So I'm really pleased with what myself and book designer came up with, and cover designer too. Let me show you some more color. So this is for prayers. Let me show you some more color. This is a contemplation about our civilization. I asked the reader, is it worth preserving or not? Because I'm not sure people value what we accomplished so far. And let me just, so here is the goddess, etc. So you got the feel. Almost every page is an interplay of words and images. And then brings us to the next question in the discussion about my book, is actually how to read this book. There is a methodology there. So the book is meditative and contemplative. It's not a mental endeavor. So we put lots of images and not a lot of words so that people can stop, pause, digest, internalize, contemplate images and stuff like that. And I call that you read the book with the whole heart or whole being. So with the whole being, with the heart. You kind of transcend the mind by reading that. It's not about mental understanding. It's about spiritual transformation and even about spiritual awakening. So please read this book with your heart, with your entire being. And it's actually structured that way. What is my hope with the book? I'm going to paraphrase, but one of the quotes from the book says, if you meditate, pray, and contemplate, your life will turn into a playful presence, a blessing to yourself, others, and the world. And that's my hoping, and that's my prayer for this book. Check it out. I think it's a good upgrade of spirituality for modern day. That's what Spirit X is. So in the description, there are many ways you can purchase the book. You can get a signed copy from myself. You can get a paperback edition from Amazon. There's also Kindle edition. So lately, a lot of people are buying Kindle books. So I honor that and appreciate that. So let me know in the comments what you think. Let me know later if you need some further help on the path, etc. I'm so excited the book is out there, and I hope it has an impact out there in these challenging yet inspiring times. Thank you very much, and let me know what you think about the book. Thank you. Bye-bye.